I must admit that how this prayer originally began, Father of all things, flows better, it's more poetic, more pleasing to the ear. I was not consciously trying to be poetic. I was using the word Father in an alchemical or linear sense, rather than a biological or a familial one. I was using the word to indicate the ultimate root cause of all things. However, using the word Father left my meaning unclear, ambiguous, and thus prone to error. Using the causeless seed instead evokes primordial images of the first vibration, the sound of a word before the meaning can be established or comprehended. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This seed, or word, is the first link in an incomprehensibly complex chain of cause and effect, and yet appears to be itself without a cause, a causeless seed. What is the cause of the causeless seed? This brings to mind the old adage, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Everyone has heard this saying at some point, but I have never heard a serious answer to the question. Perhaps it isn't meant to be answered. Perhaps it's meant to provoke contemplation and a sense of wonder. Someone did, however, eventually answer the question of which came first with the word God. This, on the surface, doesn't necessarily appear to be a problem in and of itself. Could the problem be that language requires that a word have a meaning, a definition? After all, words are agreed upon symbols meant to convey the essence or meaning of an idea or experience. We call these symbols language. Therefore, the first use of the word God, by definition, had meaning attached to it, and was the creation of the first in a long line of golden calves. The controversy and conflict that ensued continues to this day. It could be argued that the idea or experience attached to the word God is subjective, personal, and distinct to each individual. Yet the use of the word does conjure past associations. What did these visualizations of the God of my understanding from childhood impress upon us? Could the word and the images attached to it have created an unintentional golden calf in each of us? Perhaps this is the meaning of the commandment, I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Or as the Buddha put it, let us then abandon the heresy of worshiping Isavana and of praying to him. Let us no longer lose ourselves in vain speculations of profitless subtleties. Let us surrender self and all selfishness. And as all things are fixed by causation, let us practice good so that good may result from our action. There is a long-lost tradition of naming something according to its nature. For instance, Jacob's name was changed to Israel after a profound change in his nature. When we name God, do we claim to know his nature? In reality, his name and nature is Kadosh, which means sacred or set apart, and is unknowable. What can be known is the hand or will of God, because it can be seen in the form of cause and effect. This fact is not refuted. What is challenged is the sway cause and effect holds over us in light of the question of free will. Cause and effect and the concept of free will are considered complex philosophical issues subject to continuous debate over thousands of years. However, I hold that acceptance of the absolute sovereignty of cause and effect is the actual key to the door of enlightenment. The teaching of the Shekinah concerning this is, this fundamental fact cannot be denied. I find it perplexing that the deceiver's lie referenced in the book of Genesis is accepted as unquestioned truth by the majority. The old lie told us that we would not die, we would continue forever, for we are immortal as is God. And being as God, we have free will to choose which path to follow. We decide what is good and what is evil. Remember the old lie. We were told that it was a lie, and yet here we are fighting against a logical truth to remain under its rule. Are we truly immortal souls endowed with free will, as the serpent declared? This is the illusion of self that all must contend with for themselves. But if, as I maintain, we do reap the effects of our thoughts, words, and deeds, then in treating the God of our own understanding for beans when we have planted corn will bring nothing but disappointment. Redefining the word God to mean that which is just over the horizon, unknowable, unreachable, and without form, labels, or human attributes, removes the false idol of self from the throne. The lawlessness and chaos resulting from an empty throne is then replaced with gratitude and humility. This is how and why we pray. Cause of the causeless seed, holy and unknowable is thy true name. Thy will, thy seed, is absolute. It cannot be denied. And so I ask for nothing, but instead give thanks for the opportunity to experience the glorious unfolding of thy will for one more day.